Well, it's officially summer because American Legion Post 31 baseball down at St. Peter's Field and on Channel 15 is set to go. This is the season home opener for Rutland Post 31. And you're looking at Mill River graduate number 22, Matt Sharon. He'll take the mound for Coach Tony Sorelli against a non-league opponent, but a very good baseball team in Granville, Post 323. And in just showing you some contrast in the scheduling and the intensity of the different states, Granville, New York, and of course Rutland, Vermont. Like I said, the season home opener for Rutland and Granville at 9-1, 9 wins, 1 loss. They've already played 10 games. They have a much more expanded schedule than what our guys are used to. So tough competition tonight on Channel 15, PEGTV, public access television. Program director is Tom Leipold. Website is www.pegtv.com. The executive, the big guy, the big boss is Mike Valentine. And we should have 7 innings, at least 7 innings of good baseball tonight, maybe longer if they decide to get things tied up. And I will tell you that upcoming games include, I know we're tape delayed, but the 29th of June, that's a 7-inning game starting at 5:30. All the weekday games are 5:30. The Saturday and Sunday games are 1 o'clock starts because those are 9-inning games. The battery, I've already mentioned, is Matt Sharon, and behind the plate, Hamilton College, MSJ graduate, Anthony LaPlaca. And that, a little chin music to start things off. That's going to be Brad Curtis, the leadoff hitter, Eric Grossman, and then Tom Jackson, the 3-2 up for Granville. They're in the solid blue uniforms, and Post 31 in their red, white, and blue uniforms. That's right there for a 1-1 count. Matt Sharon, part of that very successful baseball team over at Mill River this year that went all the way to the semifinals. I think they were in the number 3 in the state. They could have been number 2. Now it is number 3. That's going to be popped up, and oh, what a catch by Chris Parker. Welcome to the season 2006 as Parker comes in and dives and makes a tremendous catch. And all that was an infield fly, and we're already got some excitement for you. So now Eric Grossman up. He's the third baseman. And I want to correct myself. It's pronounced Crosman. I couldn't read my own writing. Can you imagine that? And after the first pitch to Crosman, I will go around the defense for Post 31. As you see Sharon kick fire, and there's a nice cut action slider or fastball that came down and inside for a swinging strike. Garrett Brewer, the big guy, is at first base defensively. Chris Parker, we know, is at second after that tremendous play he made. UVM's Pat Guyette's at shortstop, and Jeff McLaughlin is down at third base. We already mentioned Anthony LaPlaca from Hamilton College. Behind the dish, Sean McGuire is out in left field. Rob Dorian is in center field, and John Holtman is your right fielder. And that's the 9 to start the game for Coach Tony Sorelli. There's another breaking ball, and he's got the count now. 1 ball, 2 strikes. George Bennett is an assistant coach. Jeff Brewer, an assistant coach. Ron Fairbanks is the team manager. Natasha McPhee is the bat girl. And, of course, Tony Sorelli is the head coach. He's developed Post 31 into quite a traditional and consistent good team, good seedings, good records, good performance throughout his coaching tenure here. And that's going to be a chopper foul down the third baseline. So we'll stay at 1 ball, 2 strikes. And I'm Jerry Munger, bringing you American Legion Baseball yet again this summer. You'll have to tolerate me. And if I had to describe myself to you or the broadcast that I will bring you, the action will be good. The picture should stay somewhat in focus. But like the humid air tonight, there's a lot of dead air. And you can solve that by just turning the volume down. That looks like Parker will make another attempt here. He'd take much easier chance this time. He'll make 2 catches for a 2 down here. Nobody on base. Matt Sharon exhibited very good control throughout the regular high school season. Now Tom Jackson up. Very tough-minded baseball player, very disciplined mentally, very gifted physically, athletically. You can see him play basically just anywhere. Shortstop, pitcher, I mean, pretty much you could plug him in any spot, and he would perform very well. Matt Sharon looking for a 1-2-3, top of the first. We'll start off with a strike right there to the number 3 hitter. We're in the top of the first. We're scheduled for 7. We've got nobody on base, and no runs in the game yet. Sparse crowd again, even if it's a non-league game. I would like to see, and again, who the heck am I, right? I'd like to see more of a crowd here for the American Legion Post 31 baseball throughout the summer season. You don't even have to like baseball. You can just come out and join your community in watching local young people play a sport. It's a great place to come socialize, pick up some suntan rays. You know, pop out the lawn chair and just relax for a couple hours. There's a swinging strike on a nice pitch around the letters. 2-2 the count. I already mentioned the website for Channel 15 PEGTV, but you can call them at 747-0151. And if you got a lot of energy, you can get right in your car or truck and drive right down to the House Center and go to Building 24 and visit them. And that has Dorian going back, and he'll locate and make the catch. Robbie Dorian, outstanding center fielder. He will track the ball down, and that'll be a 1-2-3 first inning for Post 31 as they come to the bottom of the first scoreless. Well, you're looking at Granville Post 323, then 9-0 record. They're going to send number 36. Taking his warm-ups right now, Dan Randall to the hill. You'll have Tom Jackson, the catcher. Shawnee, too, is the first baseman. This is the defense for Granville. Jim Joy's the second base. Brad Curtis is your shortstop. Eric Crossman is at third base. Your left fielder is Willie Hadeka. Darren Dodge in center field. And Brian Leach is your right fielder. And for Post 31, they're going to start things off with Rob Dorian. Matt Sharon will bat number 2. Jeff McLaughlin will hit number 3. And Anthony Placa will be in that cleanup spot on the number 4 side things. Some new faces on the roster this year. Nice to see. And some familiar guys coming back. Dorian new to the roster this year. Pat Guyette's new. Holtman. Noble. I'll go through the whole lineup. Sharon, Trono, Ryan. And then we'll wait and let things get set here. But I'll go through that roster for you. And again, I'll remind you the 29th is a home game starting at 5:30. And July 8th, Rutland Royals baseball. Rutland County Royals U15 All-Star baseball team right here for a doubleheader. Starting at noon. That's Coach Glenn Carter and his squad. And if you need information about the Royals organization or would like to help them out in some way, their phone number is 459-2726. And that pitch right there for a strike. Randall got good size. He's a big guy. Throws from the right side and went fastball, breaking ball, and that's going to be a ball in the dirt. And that had a very sharp break to it. As we're in the bottom of the first, you're watching Channel 15 Sports. The website's PEGTV.com. Hope you watch Sports Beat when it appears. And I'll give you those times and dates in case you're really interested. Not just tugging at my heartstrings saying you will watch it when you really won't. But it's Mondays at 4:30 in the afternoon, Tuesdays at 5:30, and Thursday nights at 9 p.m. And it's been there for 10 plus years. As a pitch will come into Dorian, and that will be over the first baseman's head. And Rob Dorian, with a shot down the line, will be there with a single to lead things off for Post 31. Now, Coach Sorelli, in case you haven't watched him coach MSJ High School baseball when he was the coach there, or if you haven't caught a Legion game in the last couple years, he does like to use his base runners to generate offense, put pressure on the defense, and he's got a guy at the plate that can handle the bat. If you want him to hit and run, or if you got the guy from first on a straight steal, he'll protect him at the plate. And Sharon, also a very good hitter, strong guy. Matt Sharon, very strong young man. Dorian with good speed over at first base, so we've got a good situation right here to watch. A lot of strategy can be invoked right now, and that pitch will be right there for a strike at the hands on a nice ball with some pop on it. That had a little garlic sauce on it, as my good friend Doc LaPlaca would say. And from the stretch now, we'll have Randall pitch. There's the throw over to first. Oh, there it is. I had to throw to the dugout, but I'll get in baseball mode here. I've been doing a lot of softball lately. Different look of things, different feel for the game, and I'll get the camera down. There's the throw back, and Dorian back. This time, nowhere near as close as that first play was. So Post 31. Got Granville's Dan Randall thinking out there on the mound. Matt Sharon waits for a pitch to come into him here. And they call a pitch out, and tell you what they are. This is exactly what a reputation that precedes you does. People know Sorelli, Post 31, going to be aggressive on the base pass. They've preoccupied the pitcher. They've called a pitch out. They've given up a ball in the count. I mean, this is what a running game will do for you. And that'll be too far inside, and it'll go to 2 balls, 1 strike. Now, if you want to guess a count to run on, this wouldn't be a bad deal. But you also can, if you want to waste one, you can still do the pitch out, but the probability not as good as sending the runner. Dorian with a pretty decent lead over there at first base. So decent a lead that they'll throw back for the 3rd time here in the sequence of pitches to Sharon that they've thrown to first base. Long look in as the catcher, Tom Jackson, will flash the signs, and we are good, possibly, to come to the plate. And now, with a 3-1 count, the runner is being held on at first by Sean E2. I did fail to mention that. So 3-1 count, and a leadoff hitter, Dorian, with a single at first. Matt Sharon's number 2 hitter in the lineup at the plate. Just graduated from Mill River. And yeah, that hit him. That's a dead ball, and that hit him. He came inside and got a little too aggressive, and that will put runners at first and second for Jeff McLaughlin. Now McLaughlin, again, remember him last year coming in doing a nice job in Legion ball and getting to step up in a key situation early here, first and second, and nobody down. And here's a guy that makes good contact with the ball, obviously, or he wouldn't be in that number 3 spot. With LaPlaca on deck, the cleanup hitter, barring a triple play, he will get to swing the bat here in the bottom of the first. A show bunt, and they kept the bunt on, and that's going to be foul. And that is not unusual for Tony Sorelli and his baseball teams either. They'll employ the small ball, which incorporates the running game, which really starts with pitching, then they go to defense, and then they go to what you see here. They do have some guys with big sticks who can knock it out of the park. Don't get me wrong there. There are guys. Zach Equistapace, who's not in a starting lineup tonight, jumps out as one of those guys. Garrett Brewer. Actually, LaPlaca's got real good power. Obviously, that's why he's in that cleanup spot. But they're a very well-balanced team. Even with the new faces this year, they're good acquisitions. First and second, nobody down. And a strike is the count. That'll be at the knee, but low to the inside, actually. Make it a 1-1 count. So Randall struggling just a little bit here as we get things underway in American Legion Post 31 baseball coverage on Munger Vision, channel 15 on your dial. And boy, you will see the hitter right there ask for time as McLaughlin got impatient waiting for the pitcher, Dan Randall, to decide on what he wants to throw here. In Post 31, taking on Granville 323. Granville coming in with a 9-1 record. Oh, and he'll drop the curveball over the plate. But what happened was it was high when it crossed the plate. Doesn't matter where that catcher catches the ball. But it will go to 2 balls and 1 strike. Post 31, got a lot of big games on their schedule. And the ones that jump out, Brattleboro, Bennington, Hartford's going to have a good team this year. I mean, it's packed up. That's why you got to get down here. It's going to be a good swing and a foul, and the ball back into the screen, and we'll have a 2-2 count now. This whole inning started off with Rob Dorian of Rutland High School singling down that right field line, and then Matt Sharon was hit by a pitch. And pretty much sent us to where we are, 2-2 the count to Jeff McLaughlin. And Randall, see where the target's set up. Looks like he wants to go to the outside corner here, and that's going to be high and tight, and that'll make it a full count at 3 balls, 2 strikes. And you know what the catcher's coming out to talk to him? I saw the sign, and I saw the target, and he threw a different pitch than what was called for, and he missed the target badly, and that's what the catcher's talking to him about right now. They've really got to be in sync here. A wild pitch or pass ball, let those runners move up to second and third, and that's what they do not want. Plus, the catcher always would like to know what's going to be thrown at him with that hard little object called a baseball. And that's what the chat is right now. It's about signs. I like the catcher, too. The way he came right out, Tom Jackson. Didn't cut him any slack. Didn't give him another chance. Just came out and took care of the situation. Tried to correct it right off the bat. 3-2 count. Second 3-2 count of this inning for Randall. And again, it's a very muggy, stifling night. Very dead air tonight. Not a breeze blowing for the hitters or the defense. And that's going to be fisted foul, and that was a good pitch. That was a fastball right in on a fist. And a nice job, too, defensively swinging McLaughlin there with the pitch right in there with 2 strikes. Sorelli, Brewer, Bennett. That's the coaching staff for Post 31. Good to see Jeff Brewer back, as he missed last season. But he's back out there again. The big guy is over at third base as the third base coach. And that'll be ball 4, and that's a live ball. And that's why the catcher kind of hustled there, because it doesn't mean you have to stop advancing to 1 base. So a whole lot of trouble right now for Anthony LaPlaca, coming up. A whole lot of trouble for Randall, who's got the bases juiced. Nobody down, and that will warrant a visit to the mound by the head coach, but also the entire team. When I was getting the lineup out of the Granville dugout, the coach was delivering his pregame message to his Granville team, and it was, we came here to get a win. Lawn league or not, we are here to win this ball game. And he wasted no time to come out and have a chat. But bases are juiced and nobody down, and Anthony LaPlaca of Hamilton College. And last year, LaPlaca having just a breakout season, not only in his senior year at MSJ, but also as the primary starting catcher for Post 31. He did it behind the plate, but he did it with the bat. Had a very good season hitting the baseball. Well, he's up there at the table set, and actually good speed all the way around on those bases for him. And the outfield actually backing up and playing him down that third baseline, and that'll be another ball. The big guy, Randall, in his warm-ups, threw a lot of breaking stuff, or as I like to call it, junk stuff. He nibbled, and like I said, he's a good-sized guy, and when he has thrown the fastball, he's been effective here in the first inning with it, but he's been very... He hasn't gone to it that much. He hasn't been very consistent. He's liked to nibble here with the junk stuff, and it's gotten him in a little bit of trouble. He's down 1 ball, no strike to LaPlaca, and the base is, like I said, full of Post 31 baseball players right now. And when you talk about deliberate pace, we will be here. Now, I told you Sports Beat, we're taped late, but this is Thursday night, and I told you Sports Beat starts at 9 p.m. If he doesn't pick up the pace, we're going to miss that and the 10 o'clock news. So 2 balls, no strike. Now, you got to be thinking fastball if you're the hitter right now, just to make some catch-up time. And it was the fastball, but LaPlaca very good at knowing that strike zone. Lays off, and it's 3 balls, no strikes, and he's 1 pitch away from walking in the game and the season's first run for Post 31. A lot of times you won't see the green light here, like that right there, and it's usually a meatball like that was. Oh, I'd like to just see one time. Bases loaded, meatball coming, give him a spoon and a fork and let him eat it up. 3-1 the count. We're in the bottom of the first. Settle in for the next hour, hour and a half, and hang out and watch some baseball on Channel 15. Now the fastball. And you can see what I mean. He's much more in command with the fastball, and he's got it back to 3 balls, 2 strikes to LaPlaca. And I honestly know that you can throw anything you want on any part of the count, but I would be very surprised if he didn't come back with another fastball with a 3-2 count, and the last 2 pitches being strikes on fastballs. And that's going to be to third base. They're going to throw, and I tell you, I don't know about the decision-making process here. So early in the ball game, with nobody down, and he fielded the ball, the third baseman did, Eric Crosman. That'll be an error, E5. Now, Chris Parker's coming up. Base is still low. They're getting a courtesy runner for the catcher, LaPlaca. That way he can get his... It's not that he's overtly slow, it's that they want him to also have his gear on ready to go out there, get the pitch going in the top of the second. But I started to say, Crosman made the fielding play, could have just gone over and stepped on the bag at third for at least 1 down. He elected to make a throw home, and it was a very errant throw that led to the error and the run, and nobody down still. There is a strike. So on an inning that sees Post 31 has the makings of a big inning, they've had 1 base hit. That was Dorian. Then Sharon was hit by a pitch, then McLaughlin was walked, and LaPlaca actually was a fielder's choice, and then the error throw home allowed the run to score. That's going to be fouled out of play for strike 2. To Chris Parker and Sean McGuire on deck for Rutland. I said some awful good talent on this Rutland squad, and awful good talent everywhere throughout the league. That's why I think it's going to be a wide open league. No real prohibitive favorite. I know everybody's thinking Bennington with their pitching staff, but well, I'll tell you what, that was a tough pitch to take with 2 strikes. Called a ball, must have been high, if anything, but it'll be 1 ball, 2 strikes to Parker. Nobody down, 1 run in, bottom of the first, Post 31 with a 1-0 lead over Granville. This is a non-league game. And weather permitting and everything else permitting, I'll be here for the whole season unless I get terminated. Got him looking. Yeah, that... You got 2 strikes. You got to be aggressively defending the plate, and Parker actually could have been struck out twice in that whole sequence. Sean McGuire up with one down, and the base is still juiced. And what a big pick-me-up would be now. We start thinking the other way. Post 31 when he scores the one run. What a nice job of getting out of this mess by Granville. But long way from being to that point right now. McGuire, an excellent hitter. As lineup sprinkled all the way throughout with good hitters. That breaking ball in dirt. McGuire held up, and see if they appeal that to the field umpire. So far, nobody's made an indication, but it certainly looked like McGuire did hold up on the swing. And that's what they hold up. 1 ball, no strikes. And Randall, again, you can see him go right back after having success with the fastball, going right back to nibbling. That's going to be through the hole, and at least 1 run coming in, and they're going to turn the corner. It's 2-0 and make it 3-0 on that single that scores 2 runs by Sean McGuire over there. And there was no doubt about that curveball. He hung it up inside, and McGuire turned on it, got the hips open, and just pounded it through the hole. And it'll bring up Big Garrett Brewer now, as they're already at the 7th hitter in their lineup. Brewer, one of those gentlemen, and I said, can leave the yard with 1 swing of the bat. He did it last year in a game here at St. Peter's Field, the beautiful St. Peter's Field, one of the gems in the state, and well, actually in all of New England. I don't tape it because it's not microphone, but it's tradition before a start of a Legion game that a Legion member comes out and reads the code of conduct, code of ethic for the Legion baseball game. And it's Funzy Chaffee, the legendary football coach here at MSJ. Nice guy, funny guy, great speaker. Can sit there and listen to Funzy tell stories for hours and hours and hours. And what a coach he was. Him and Tony Zingali teamed up and actually owned the state of Vermont. Brian Grady came in after him, did an excellent job taking a couple state titles with him, changing the whole look of MSJ football, but he adapted to what he had for talent and did an excellent job. Brian Grady did. Got along great with Brian, had no problems. That's going to be just blown by him. Again, I'm not going to hammer this to death, but it is my nature to be repetitive. And you can ask anybody who knows me. I drive him nuts, but what was his pitch? Try fastball. He's been very good with the fastball. He just hasn't gone to it enough. You got to take a couple innings to establish a pitch and then mix in all your other stuff. Nowadays, these young pitchers try to throw, a command of 5 different pitches in 1 inning, and you just can't get it done. 3 balls, 1 strike. 3-0 to score in the bottom of the first. Post 31 at the plate. They've got the lead. Mike Sorelli was that courtesy runner for La Placa. I can just see his jersey number now with his back to me, number 12. Sorelli out there. Now behind away, and there'll be another walk. So a very rough inning for Randall. And it'll reload the bases. We've had 2 walks, an error, a hit batter, a couple singles, and we're at Pat Guyette now. Pat. Listen. From UVM, a Catamount, wearing the red, white, and blue of Post 31. Holtman on deck, John Holtman on deck, and Guyette. Again, bases loaded, 1 down, 3 runs in already in Rutland with the makings here of a big first inning. Nice pitch. What was it? Fastball. You know, you want to get ahead in the count, especially if you're struggling like this inning. Go to the pitch that's worked. At least get the 1 strike. Now if you want to fool around for this next pitch or the pitch after. Nice job, fastball. Foul tip actually caught by the catcher. 0-2 the count to Guyette. With the number 9 hitter on deck, Holtman awaiting his turn. Barring a double play, he should get up and swing the bat for Post 31 this inning. And Randall. Nice pitch. Guyette looked at it and it broke in beautiful. He's got 2 strikeouts. That's both outs to this point. 3 runs in. Bases loaded. Number 9 hitter Holtman up. Top of the order, Dorian on deck. Holtman, lefty. He'll step in there from the left side. Had an excellent high school season for Tony Sorelli. Tony Sorelli, of course, finished up his career at MSJ this year. He won't be back next year. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. MSJ with a new principal, Paulo Zanacanaro, and he's been at MSJ. He's a theology teacher. He's always in charge of the graduation ceremonies. He's a very diligent man. He'll do a good job being the principal at MSJ. That pitch came in high, and what was it? Breaking ball. 1 ball, 1 strike to Holtman. He can change the complexion of the game right here with a base hit. 3 runs in but they've been dancing with a big inning to me is like 5-6 runs. That's going to be down to shortstop. Third base will cut them off, and nothing's going to happen. And they're going to keep coming around, and McGuire's going to come in with another run. And you can see Brewer take third, and Holtman, very smart, came up on the throw. I got to tell you, the shortstop, literally in the middle of the play, you can see how disgusted they all are, turned, and literally, before they even picked the ball up, was wanting to know what, in the name of Dickens, the third baseman was doing, cutting off the ball to him. And now top of the order, Dorian up. And like I said, he had a single and he scored a run, and that's all back in this inning. We're at 5-0, post 31 over Granville, post 323. There's the breaking ball, and he'll come in. Again, it's not where the catcher catches the ball. I mean, it looks good like that, but I came in high and actually to the inside part of the plate. It wrapped around the plate and missed the strike zone. So if Matt Sharon can get back out there to pitch, he's going to have at least a 5-run cushion to work with. He had a 1-2-3 first inning, and that's going to be ball 2. First base is open, even though that's not really his intentions here. He's trying to be careful to Dorian, but he'd like to get that third out and get out of here. Post 31 season opener here at St. Peter's Field on Munger Vision, Channel 15 Sports. And that, yeah, it's going to make it a 3-0 count. That'll mean Matt Sharon, the pitcher, will be on deck if Robbie gets on here. Of course, a side note, so relevant to the game, but you know how you watch sporting events either in person, like at Alumni Field, or basketball games at the Keefe Gym, or if you do watch it on Channel 15, Mike Dorian, the trainer of them, always at all these sporting events, that's his son out there, Rob. So I expect Mike's here. So, hey, Mike Dorian, if you watch this on Channel 15, how you doing? And if you're not watching it, what's your problem? Now Sharon up. He was hit by a pitch, and he scored a run in this first inning, which has been now to the number 11 hitter in the order, or in this inning, for 11 batters is what I'm trying to say. If it comes to the plate already. There's a fastball strike. Now he's up in the count 0-1. Nibbling's okay if you're on a diet, but if you're a pitcher, go for it. Don't nibble. And he'll miss the breaking ball. 1-1 to count now. And again, post 31, they have had a couple nice hits in here, but they've had some walks, some errors, some base on balls, some hit batters. And this has been a long first inning. And that's right out the fist and down the first baseline. Foul for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hey, you know what Channel 15 is doing now? Well, actually, Channel 15, Channel 20, and 21. That's all PEGTV. I just talk about 15 because that's what I get aired on. But they're all great channels, 15, 20, 21. You can get the listings for all 3 channels in Sam's Good News. I like that. They're all in one place. You know, if you don't have internet access, or if you're somewhere and you don't have the computer with you, you just get the schedule out of Sam's Good News. That's a good deal. And that's going to be a foul ball. That's a great job by Sharon, reaching out, falling off what could have been strike 3. He's got 2 strikes on him, and that's a good defensive swing. Matt Sharon, just an outstanding athlete. Was varsity quarterback in junior, senior year. Took his team to top seedings, took them to the playoffs. Did a great job on the basketball courts, and, of course, on the diamond. Just, again, and he's not going to get that call. That wrapped around the plate. Never nicked it, and that'll go to a 3-2 count. Yet another full count here with McLaughlin on deck. This is the number 11 batter to come to the plate here for post 31. Randall, and the runner's off, and that'll be walking in the 6th run. As you see Brewer come in and tag up. Now McLaughlin up. So base is still juice, still 2 down. McLaughlin walked and eventually scored. And I got to tell you, when I saw that or heard that 9-1 record by Granville, I'm thinking, wow, what an advantage. These guys have already played 10 games and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I tell you, I hope this isn't their ace out there. Or if it is, I hope he's having an off night. Because I would wonder what teams they played for 9-1. And again, the second visit to the mound by Tom Jackson, the catcher, to Dan Randall, his pitcher. And 6-0, post 31. We're scheduled for 7. There is a mercy rule, I believe. You know, I should have brushed up on this. I get so confused with baseball and softball because I cover a lot of sports. I think it's a 10-run mercy rule. But it's after, like in this case, you'd have to go 4.5 innings. Now, post 31, hypothetically, was behind by 10. You'd have to go the full 5 before it could even become into play here. So McLaughlin just wants something to get the bat on right now. That's going to be high for a ball. And it drags on as we go again. 12th batter to come to the plate here in this first inning. 6-0, post 31 with the lead. They've made some contact. They just haven't allowed a lot to swing at, and that's going to be strike on the outside corner. Now it'll go to 2 balls, 1 strike. And it's been a long time, so we should reset that defense for you. It's E2 at first, Joy at second, Curtis at short, Crosman at third, Jackson's behind the plate. Haddock at Dodge, and Leach the outfield, and Randall. And that's going to find the gap. That's going to find the gap, and more runs coming in. We will follow Sharon into third base, and they're going to send him home as that will roll to the fence, and that will score a couple more here for post 31 as McLaughlin will deliver a double, clear the bases, drive in 3 more runs. 9-0, post 31, and we're still in the first inning. And that'll bring back up LaPlaca, who reached on a fielder's choice. Then remember they came home, and that was an error that allowed the runs to score. So LaPlaca up there for the second time as they are in the 13th hitter to come to the plate. And Randall's already thrown a complete game out there in his first inning. And that ripped foul. Got on top of that breaking ball and just ripped it down the third baseline. Again, this inning started off, it seems like 2 days ago, but it was Dorian that started things off with a single. Then Sharon was hit by a pitch. McLaughlin walked. LaPlaca fielder's choice on an error. Then Parker struck out. McGuire with a single. Brewer with a walk. Guyette struck out. Holtman reached on an error. And I'll keep going in a second. I'll let this pitch come in. That'll be off the catcher, and that'll be a wild pitch, actually, and that'll allow McLaughlin to take third base. And I got to tell you, if Randall pitches the second inning, I might have to go home and get some more blank tapes to finish out this contest. There's a muted sun out tonight, and it's very humid and hot. And this is tough on the fielder, especially that catcher back there. He has been crouching in that heavy gear for a long time. And that's a good pitch and a good swing right there. And then we'll have 2 strikes. And again, that all elusive third out's what they're searching for. 13 batters to the plate. Parker's on deck. 9-0, post 31 with the lead. Now you got to wonder too on that. It's a warm night and stuff. Will this long break between the first and second inning of pitching affect Matt Sharon, or with that big lead, will he just go out and fire freely away? Matt with a good job of getting fooled on that breaking ball, but getting a piece of it to follow it off and stay at 1 ball, 2 strikes. And I know it's a non-league game, but I'll tell you what, they're letting Randall trying to work the kinks out here in his game. It's the big righty. I don't have a pitch count because I couldn't count that high, and that's a great job by Jackson getting out there and blocking the plate. The protector of the dish back there, and Jackson saved another run right there. So we'll go to a 2-2 count. And again, I know they have a game coming up the 29th of June, but you can get their schedule. Just give the Legion a buzz, or it's posted all over the city, but you can get the schedule for there's games sooner, and that could be foul. Yeah, it was slicing away, and it did go foul, and that'll stay as just a long strike, and it'll bring the Plaka back in there to get set up. Again, Parker is on deck in case they extend the inning even further. And the outfield, again, shading a tad bit toward the third baseline, the left field line. And deep, very deep, actually. So Anthony Plaka with that 2-2 count. Looking for something to get a hold of, and he did. He will drive it up the middle for an RBI, and there comes the 10th run as McLaughlin will touch up, and there's LaPlaca. Stayed right on the pitch, and it was a hanging breaking ball, and he just stung it up the middle, and that'll make it 10-0 now. Rutland post 31 with the lead. And Parker struck out in the first inning, which we're still in. And McGuire on deck. And are they... Yeah, they're going to pull the plug here, I think, on Randall. This guy, they got it. It's the second visit to the mound, and that'll be it for Randall. He doesn't get out of the first inning. He's charged with 10 runs, and got a new pitch coming on. You're going to get the third out. One pitch. Curtis came in from the shortstop position to get the third out. He got it on the first pitch. Foul ball caught, and that'll be at 10-0. Post 31 at the end of 1 inning to play over Granville. Post 323. So Randall, who started the game as a pitcher, has gone to play first base, and he's up now in the order. Sharon had a 1-2-3 first inning. He recorded no strikeouts. It was 3 fly balls. There's a swinging strike on a nasty-looking pitch. Rolling at top of the second, 10-0. Post 31 with the lead. And recent graduate from Mill River, Matt Sharon, will come inside and just miss. Make a 1-1 count. And at defense, looks the same. They just look a little older after that long bottom of the first. Brewer is at first. Parker is at second. Guyette is at short. McLaughlin's at third. And that's going to be a strike. They said Sharon with excellent control. Holtman is in right field. Center fielder is Dorian. And the left fielder out there, of course, is Sean McGuire. Anthony LaPlaca is your catcher. And that's going to be to Guyette at short. And no, it's going to be through Guyette. And that'll be a base hit. And that'll be a runner at first base. So Randall will be on, and he'll be the first base runner of the game for Granville. And they'll bring up Sean E2 now, who's moved from first to third, getting his first look at Mr. Sharon out there. You see the sun coming out. It's not muted anymore. Now it's a full blazing sun, and very short lead at first, but they're being held on by Brewer over there for post 31, and that's a swing and a foul, and that'll be out of play for a strike. In case you're just joining us, it's 10-0 post 31 lead. They got 10 runs in the first inning. They sent 14 hitters to the plate. And they have, defensively, a runner at first base, nobody down, the second batter of the inning up. As E2 will take a strike right there, and that's a beautiful pitch. 0-2 the count. Well received, well framed by LaPlaca. Again, very smooth behind home base, Anthony is. Played ball this year at college, Hamilton College. And that is what you want to do with 2 strikes right there. Good job following off that would-be strike 3 right there. Glad to see Matt Sharon went out for Legion ball. He's a nice addition to the club. Told him he looks good in red, white, and blue out there. It's almost exactly what Mill River wears. Tried to come in high and hard and missed out of the strike zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So Sharon will look into LaPlaca and get the sign. And again, it's pitcher's choice. He's up in the count, 1-2. And boy, he had it at the knee, but didn't get the call. Caught the plate. Maybe a little bit low, if anything, and make it a 2-2 count. This is a spot in the count. If you want to be clever or conniving, this is where you would do it at 2-2. And that's going to be up the middle, base hit. He just went fastball, so 2 singles. Yeah, and that'll bring up a first and second situation for Granville, and nobody down. Now Jim Joy up to second baseman. Trying to identify the PA announcer. It sounds like Mr. Shortle, but it also sounds like Chuck Clarino at times. But it's a nice atmosphere. That's why we do the PA at a game, whether it's high school ball or Legion ball or softball. It's a nice touch. And now Sharon from the stretch, take a long time looking in to the signs. Now will cause Joy to ask for time and receive it from the umpire, and he'll step back out now. And Matt Sharon in his first little bit of trouble. They tried a bunt, and it's going to be foul ball. Good smart play, just letting it continue out of the play of field in the foul territory. It'll be a 0-1 count now. I mean, there is a lot of ball game left. We're only in a second, scheduled for 7 as far as making up runs. There's a lot of time left for that. And I don't know if those base hits had anything to do with Sharon having a long layoff between the first inning he pitched and now, or if it was just a good piece of hitting by the batters, probably a little bit of both. And that will stay in play this time. They're going to go to first. They'll get the shore out, and there it is. Runners will move up to second and third, and I think that's, it's obviously a no-brainer play right there with a 10-run lead. They'll take the out. And now Brian Leach, the right fielder, up for the first time as they're just getting to the number 7 spot in the order here in the second inning. Second and third, and one down now. We've already seen one tremendous defensive play in that first inning by Post 31, and that was by Chris Parker. On a very shallow hit infield fly, he made a great charge and dive, and I got most of it on camera. I wasn't expecting that on the infield. And there's a strike called, nipped the inside corner, and we'll have a 1-1 count. Getting rest, you know, they'll go through the lineup through the whole night. McLaughlin's here. Jeff McLaughlin from Rutland. Rob Dorian from Rutland. Sean McGuire from Rutland. And it'll be low, and that'll be a ball. Mike Sorelli's of MSJ is on the lineup. Pat Guyette's from UVM. John Altman from MSJ. Chris Parker's from MSJ. Zach Aquistapace from MSJ. As I'll continue on after this pitch. And that's going to be out of play. Nobody's going to get a piece of that one. Unless they're in a canoe on Otter Creek. Mark Noble from Oxbow's on the team. Rob Turner goes to Castleton College. Matt Sharon's, like I said, graduate from Mill River. Joe Trono, graduate from Rutland. Garrett Brewer from Rutland. Chad Ryan from Mill River. Justin Pomacala from Roger Williams College. And Anthony LaPlaca from Hamilton. That's your complete roster for Post 31 this year. And that is right there. They'll step on nothing, throw to first, and get the out. I'm waiting for the umpire. Yep. So they got the run. Again, I'll get the camera work down. It's always kind of awkward getting used to shooting from out in the middle of nowhere. So they got the out at first base. Run scored, and E2 moved up to third. So there's 2 runs in and 2 down, and Darren Dodge up now. That'll be outside for a ball. I think, yeah, I'm all caught up. Sharon, not quite as efficient this inning. He's given up a couple runs. Ball's been hit hard a couple times. And that'll miss outside for ball 2. I gotta check my book because the board, oh no, the board, it's 10-1. I apologize. The board is always correct. And E2 is at third. That's where I lost track of what was going on. There's a strike. Anthony's for 2 balls and 1 strike. So Sean E2 ended up only at third base. And it's still 10-1. Apologize for that. I wish it could get better, but I tell you, I'd be lying to you if I told you I was going to get better with age. Boy, you talk about going up the ladder. He went up the ladder somewhat around the eyeballs, and that'll be fouled off, and will now stay at 2-2 count. So Darren Dodge with Willie Hanukkah. You see LaPlaca coming out. It could be a thing with signs. They haven't worked together before. Like I said, LaPlaca last year played at MSJ. Sharon played at Mill River the last couple of years. And LaPlaca this year was at Hamilton College. And, of course, Matt Sharon was finishing up his career at Mill River. So they haven't worked together as pitcher-catchers. So they're just trying to get to know each other and signs and what they feel like throwing in certain situations. And that's going to be a base hit. Now it'll be 10-2, and that was quite a hit as that will go to the gap. No, he's going to hold it up for a single. Dodge will have a single, 3rd single of this inning. And you talk about muscling the ball up and out. That was at shoulder height, and he drove the ball. Now Will Hanukkah up. Of course, Hanukkah bats from the left side, played for MSJ. He comes from around the Granville area. I'm not sure exactly what New York town out there, but he imports to MSJ, and that's why he's playing for Granville in Legion Ball. There's the throw to first, and the runner back Sharon has a very good move to first base. So 10-2 in the top of the second. And this looks like a first game of the year. Runner going, LaPlaca will throw down, and Guyette with the tag, and oh, I thought he got him on the backside. Nice throw, nice tag, but Dodge just in ahead of the throw apparently, and he'll be at second base, safe. And Hanukkah, who hits very, very well, and actually played against Matt Sharon this past high school season, so don't know whose advantage that is, the pitcher or the hitter, but they've seen each other before. That's a nice pitch. That looked good the minute it left his hand. That'll be an 0-2 count now. Runner down at second. 2 down, 2 in. 10-2. Rutland with the lead in the top of the second. That's a lot of deuces in there. And that's going to be to McLaughlin. Long throw coming up for Jeff, and he'll get it. That's the inning, but Granville able to trim a couple runs off that lead, and we'll have a 10-2 game going into the bottom of the second. Rutland coming to the plate. So we'll see if Brad Curtis has any better success as he gets to start his first full inning of work here. He got the last out of the first inning. McGuire up. He had a 2 RBI single and scored a run back in that long first inning. And McGuire graduated from Rutland this year, getting set. And Curtis with a look into Jackson. That's your battery. Curtis is on the mound, and Jackson. And I don't think they'll be able to get that. Yeah, he's going to track it down, go to one knee, say a little prayer, make the catch. And there's one down. And tell you what, Curtis is coming in, throwing 2 pitches, and has 2 outs in his brief stint out there. Now, Garrett Brewer, he walked and scored back in that 10-run first. Getting a different look now with Curtis. He's going to be around the strike zone, appears early in the count. That's going to beat up the middle, and a base hit for Brewer. And he'll chug into first and settle down, and a nice job of, again, everybody getting on that first pitch. Remember the first pitch he threw in the first inning was a pop up to the catcher in foul territory. The first pitch here was a fly ball to left field. And now the first pitch to Brewer is a base hit. So they're going right after him because he's right around the strike zone. Now Guyette, who struck out back in the first inning, the post 31 shortstop out there. And that's going to be a strike. Nice pitch, good location. 0-1 count. There is 1 out, 1 on. And we're in the bottom of the second. We're going to be hanging around for, well, supposedly 7. Maybe the mercy rule will come into play. Maybe it won't. Maybe Mother Nature will open up the clouds here. Maybe she won't. That could be a double play. That's going to be from third. There's 1. They'll turn, and nice stretch, but they can't get him. And that Speedy Guyette will be down there at first base. So they'll avoid the double play, but they are 2 down now. They get that leadoff runner, that lead runner out. And Holtman up. He reached on an error and scored. So 2 down and a runner at first. The left-handed hitting Holtman. Went to lay down a bunt, and it's a hummer. Here's the throw, and they say they had to wait a long time. And boy, I tell you what, you can see Holtman with that speed just did get nipped. But that's going to be the bottom of the second. We'll go to the third. 10-2 Rutland. We had the lead over Granville. Well, it looks like we're going to have a little smorgasbord tonight from Coach Sorelli. We're going to get a chance to see a lot of different people. One of them is going to be Zach Aquistapace. He's going to come in and replace Matt Sharon. He'll be the new pitcher for post 31. And Matt Sharon has gone from the pitcher's mound to shortstop position, replacing Pat Guyette. And that'll be a ball from Aquistapace in the dirt low. And we're at the top of the order. And Brad Curtis, who popped out to Chris Parker, who made that nice play that I kind of got and kind of didn't get on tape. Aquistapace and LaPlaca, the battery, have worked together before all through MSJ and, of course, last year in Legion Ball. Aquistapace has that big letter P attached to him. Potential, potential, potential. Got the size, got the skills, got the mindset. And at times, he's just unbelievably good. And at times, like everybody, I'll have a little problem where he'll hit a little rut and struggle. But he's on the verge of a breakout season. That'll come in high. The only thing, and his dad kind of last year gave me a little jab there, but sometimes Zach will nibble with a variety of breaking stuff instead of throwing that good old big body fastball. But he'll get in the groove and he'll be pretty unstoppable. And the righty will fire, and it'll be a walk, and so he'll walk the leadoff batter, Curtis. So we'll start off the third inning with a walk. And I'll bring up Eric Crosman now. He flied out also to Chris Parker on the edge of the grass to the outfield. So Crosman, see, now last time they elected with a runner on first base, they went small ball in the second inning when they generated their 2 runs. We'll see here if they're just going to try to work on execution of things and just keep chipping away to get back in the ball game. We're only in the third. Barring darkness, we'll be here 7 or until the mercy rule kicks in. But Aquistapace will miss low and inside, and that makes it 1 ball, no strikes. Now, I don't know if this is true or not. It's just an observation of watching Zach pitch the last couple of years. He's got a real good move to first. That's not my observation. When he starts a ball game, when he knows he's going to pitch and he starts, he seems to be right off the bat good. When he comes in relief, seems it takes a while to find himself, and it's going to be almost impossible. They're not going to throw down. The ball was in the dirt, and the runner will have second base without a throw. Well, I'll tell you what, I certainly would not be wasting anything on a small ball now. I'd be letting Crosman swing away now that the runner's advanced himself up to this. You can see LaPlaca having a little chat with Aquista Pace. And looks like Minister Brewer coming out to have a chat with him also. He is the assistant coach. He's a pitching coach. Of course, Jeff had an outstanding career, not only in college and the pros, but also at Rutland High School. And he's probably just telling him something real simple, you know. Just concentrate, figure out what pitch is working, work with one pitch, settle down, and all that stuff. Zach knows how to do it. As Granville had a 1-2-3 inning in the first, they were retired in order. Then they scored 2 runs in the second. We're here in the third, and they got a runner at second base, and the count is 1 ball, no strikes to Eric Crosman with Tom Jackson on deck. So Aquista Pace from the stretch, all 6'5" of them out there. His dad's a big guy. If you ever met Frank, he's an eye doctor, an optometrist, or yeah, I think that's the right word. But he's a big gentleman himself, and his son, look, spitting image of him when he was in high school. And there's another strike. So whatever Brewer said, it worked. There's 2 strikes in a row, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now, it's pitcher's choice now. Open the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. What he wants to let fly here. And that's going to be a chopper to Sharon. He'll stay back on the ball. He's got a very strong arm, and he'll get the out at first. They'll let the runner go to third, but they'll take the out anytime like that right there. They'll get the out at first base. So there's 1 down now and a runner at third base. Now Jackson, who flied out to Dorian in relatively deep center field. That wasn't even a thought when he hit it, but now I can come out and reflect back on it. That was a pretty decent shot he had. But that was off from the starting pitcher, Matt Sharon, and now this is Aquista Pace pitching. So again, if you're post 323 Granville, you just work on execution, work like it's a clean slate, get a run here and there, a couple now and then, and you know, work yourself right back in the ball game and get something positive as the game goes along, so you can talk about, you know, how horrible the first inning was, but boy, how we played better in the second, third, fourth, or we did this right. You know, I'm always looking for positive to end on, to go to the next game, the next practice. That's a ball right there. So we're at 1 ball, no strikes. And Aquista Pace, very deliberate pitcher between throws. And so he's nibbling again. There's a breaking ball inside, and it'll be 2 balls, no strikes. And that outfield, again, they've taken a couple extra steps back, and they are shading toward that left field line, that third base line. And that'll be another breaking ball in the dirt. And we've gone back to a 3 ball, no strike count. And there's a lot of arms on this Rutland team. I don't know what the game plan is tonight. Obviously, Coach Rowley's going to bring a lot of people through, and there's fastball strike right there, 3-1. But you know, we've got Palmacala, who throws well. Ryan throws well. We've seen Brewer throw. Turner's, I got to be honest with you, I consider him the ace of the staff. Aquista Pace, Parker pitches. That's going to be a walk right there. Now I'll put runners at first and third. Ideal situation to send the runner. Worst thing that happens is you throw him out. Now they're going to bring in Dan Randall. He had a single, the first hit off from Matt Sharon when he was the pitcher back in the second inning, and he eventually came around to score the first run of the game for Granville. So first and third, LaPlaca with a very good, accurate arm behind the plate. They show small ball, and he'll miss the bunt to throw down, and that's actually purposely was trying to be cut off. The run's going to score on an error, and they had the play on, looked like where they wanted to cut the throw off to keep the runner either at third or try to catch him napping, but it turns into a disaster. The third run will score, and Jackson goes all the way from first to third, and they'll make it 10-3 now. And a runner at third with just the 1 down. So Randall surprised me by showing bunt, and I doubt we'll see that again, and that's going to be around the plate and high for a ball. 2 balls, no strikes. The on-deck hitter is Sean E2. He had a single when he was up. And again, I'll miss inside. And Aquista Pace pitching from behind in the count here at 3 balls, no strikes, and that's been a tendency. He's been behind in the count a lot here in this third inning. I mean, like I said, this is tough on your catcher on a very hot, humid day with all that gear, and your outfielders are baking in the sun, and they have a tendency. It's only human to kind of let your mind wander and not be focused out there. And that's going to be another walk, and Aquista Base will have first and third again with 1 down. So 3 walks to 4 hitters, and now Shawnee 2 up. He scored and singled also. And now the plaque is going to come out. Brewer's already been out once, so the next time a coach comes out, that's going to be it for Mr. Aquista Base. And you know what I'd say if I was the catcher? I'd say let's just wiggle that number 1 finger and go ahead and throw some heat until we kind of find a rhythm. And if we get ahead in the count, great. If you strike them out, great. But if you're in the zone and let the guys field the ball, that's even better. But you're all over the map right now. Just let's settle down on a pitch and make it work. And obviously the breaking ball is not it right now. It might become it later on, but it's just not it right now. That was all conjecture. I'm just trying to fill up airspace is all I'm trying to do. And LaPlaca flashing some signs. I think they're going to intentionally walk E2. No, he'll duck down behind him. He went shoulder to shoulder and then stood up with the arm out, and I thought that was going to be... There's the throw to first, and the runner, very small lead, was back easily. Yeah, see, Granville squares the bunt again, or it gives you the indication, even if they're not going to do it, like they did earlier this inning. Well, they will not be able to throw the runner out as that ball. Nice job by LaPlaca just stopping it. So second and third now. And E2 will be followed by Jim Joy. It is 10-3. Rutland with the lead. They had 10 runs in the first inning, and we're in the top of the third, and Granville just kind of taking advantage of what Post 31 will give them. That'll miss, and again, digging himself a little hole here at 2 balls, no strikes. He's walked 3. He's only faced. This is his 5th batter. And we'll see if he'll just go after him now. One thing, not that I'm a pitching coach, actually I'm absolutely nothing but a camcorder operator. Not a good balance right now. He keeps falling off the rubber off to the first base side very awkwardly. He's not really... He's thinking too. He's thinking real hard right now. And good athletes can't be good thinkers. They got to let their instincts and their body just naturally do what it's got to do. Nice pitch. Fastball. Just a good old fastball. 3-1 to count. Runners at second and third, and 1 pitch away from loading it up will be Granville, Post 323. This is the non-league games season opener, and that could be playable. And I'm trying to find Holtman. He'll make the catch, and runner's going. He's tagging up, and they're going to come home and going to beat it. Nice throw. Good break off the bag, and they'll make it 10-4. And you know what else was good on that play? It was that Randall tagged up and went to third base. And that wasn't a bad throw at all by John Holtman. Now Jim Joy up. He laid down a sacrifice bunt back in the second inning. And just like that, it's 10-4. You're only down 6. You're down 10 just a little while ago. And, boy, I'll tell you what. This is the big guy. This is Coach Sorelli coming out to talk to Aquista Base. This will be the second visit to the mound, and that'll be the night. And we'll have to wait and see who he is going to bring in to pitch here to get that final out of the third inning for Post 31. Well, you can see the new pitcher wearing number 12 on your left side is Mike Sorelli, and that's his dad, the head coach over there, number 1, watching him. So Mike Sorelli will come in and relieve Zach Aquista Base, and I believe he's got one more throw, and then the catcher will send it on down to second base. And again, just to tell you, you're watching Channel 15 Sports, which is public access television located in Building 24 in the House Center. Their website, which not only contains the schedule, but a whole bunch of other information that you might find important, is www.pegtv.com. Their phone number, just for the heck of it, 747-0151, in case there's some technically challenged people like myself out there who prefer the telephone over the internet. And again, just get in the car and go down to Building 24 in the House Center and meet the staff and take a tour through the facility and, you know, have a grand old time. Yeah, I believe they had an appeal. I didn't even bother moving the camera. They had an appeal play at third base, and it was waved off by the umpire. So we're good to go now. And Jim Joy at the plate. And the first pitch from Sorelli will be a strike. It's kind of an awkward arm motion where he kind of drop down sideways. Makes it hard to pick up the release point by the batter. So a different look here from what they had seen from Quistapace. And that'll be to the backstop, and LaPlaca will get there. Didn't get far enough away, and Anthony knew it. And it'll be a ball. So we'll have a 1-1 count, and there is 2 outs. 10-4 the score. Rutland with the lead. They had 10 runs in the first. And then Granville with 2 in the second and 2 so far here in the third. And they have a runner at third base trying to keep plugging away. They dug a deep hole and they're trying to get out of it. And that's hit to Robbie Dorian. He will come in and very smooth will make the catch. That'll be the inning. And it'll be 10-4 Rutland going to the bottom of the third over Granville. Well, I'll tell you, Brad Curtis, he's came on in relief with Dan Randall. He's done a nice job. He hasn't allowed any runs. So we go to the bottom of the third. You're going to be looking at top of the order. Dorian, Sharon, and McLaughlin do up with LaPlaca at the 4 spot if they get that far. Rob Dorian's been busy. In the first inning, he had a single and scored a run, and also walked and scored a run. This is his 3rd time up. We're in the bottom of the 3rd, and he's going to be looking at strike 1 from Mr. Curtis. Brad Curtis, we're in number 6. So you can't get the music shut off, which I think is fine. That's what their holdup is right now. They're waiting for somebody to shut the music off. They're challenged technically up there with the group. There is Nicole Densmore. She will come up, and that's going to be stopped. Second baseman, backhand throw. We'll get him. I was more wrapped up in the music thing, but Nicole Densmore came up and saved the day. The only one sharp enough to know how to shut off the music playing with the PA system. Matt Sharon up now. He was hit by a pitch and walked and scored 2 runs in the first inning. Now Sharon, if he can get a pitch here, is an excellent hitter. He's very strong for his size. He's a 6-footer. He's a strong guy. And that's going to be low and outside for a ball. One thing Curtis has done nice, and this isn't a good example here, but he's been ahead in the count for most of his tenure here since he's come on relief of Randall. And that's going to be to center field. That's going to be caught. Yes, looking up into that brilliant sunshine was Darren Dodge, and there's 2 down now. The other thing is the pace has changed where Randall agonized and procrastinated over each pitch. Curtis is just getting the ball, nodding his head, and firing away. How'd you like those big words I threw out there, huh? What did you? I looked them up on the internet and wrote them on my hand so I could use them somewhere in tonight's game. Now McLaughlin up, and that's going to be high for a ball. He walked and doubled, scored 2 runs, and drove in 3. That was all back in the first inning. So he's accounted for, he's been involved in 5 runs. And that will just miss, and it'll be 2 balls, no strikes. And again, the on-deck hitter, if they get to a 4 spot, will be Anthony LaPlaca, the catcher, the cleanup hitter. And that'll miss and goes to 3 balls, no strikes. I do believe that's the first 3-ball count that Curtis has had since coming into the baseball game. You're watching Legion Baseball on Munger Vision presentation on Channel 15 Sports. And that's going to be a walk, and that will bring up LaPlaca. So 2 down, and a very good base runner in McLaughlin over at first base. LaPlaca actually reached on a fielder's choice and scored a run and singled and had an RBI back in the first inning. Remember, he hit the ball to third base with the bases loaded. Instead of going to first or tagging third, they threw home to get the runner going home from third to home and threw the ball away. And boy, he sailed just a tad bit high on that. I mean, he's getting good location. Just got to bring it in a couple inches. So with 2 down, nice lead at first by McLaughlin. He is being held on over there at first base. I was looking down at my roster. Randall over there at first base holding him on. So in the bottom of the third, they got him. They got him. What a throw. McLaughlin can't believe it, but I'll tell you what. Tom Jackson, Action Jackson right there. Yeah, he gives some high fives. That's the inning. We'll go to the 4th, 10-4, Rutland. Mike Srelly will pitch to Brian Leach here in the top of the 4th, and Leach grounded out to the shortstop, 6-3. His only time up. I'll do the defense for you in just a sec. I'll let the pitch come in, and that's going to be high. Third base is McLaughlin. Shortstop is Sharon. Second base is Chris Parker. First base is Brewer. Holtman, Dorian, And, oh, Sean McGuire, that's your outfield. LaPlaca behind the plate. And it's going to be 2 balls, no strikes. There's a fastball that busted up and high and too far off the plate. Going to be 2 balls, no strikes to the leadoff hitter. And he hit him. Well, that saves time for throwing another ball. So Leach will be hit by a pitch. And I'll bring up Darren Dodge, who singled and stole the base back in the 2nd. We're in the 4th. Supposed to go 7. And when Granville has gotten base runners on, especially in the 2nd and 3rd inning, because they didn't have any in the 1st inning, it's been hard for them to have base runners on, they've done a lot. They've bunted, they've stolen, they've hit and run, they've done a lot of things good. That's why they get themselves right back in this baseball game right here. It's a pivotal inning right here for Granville and for Rutland. Rutland scored all 10 runs in 1 inning. It's going to be picked up by LaPlaca to first. That's a tough throw by LaPlaca because he's right in line with the first base bag, and he's got to throw by or through or around the runner, and he got the job done. It's a good sacrifice, too. The job was to get the runner to second base, and that's what they did. Now Haddock up. Haddock grounded out to McLaughlin at third base. So the lefty, Will Haddock, will step in there and be set here to face Mike Sorelli. Just missed. Thought he might steal the call on it, but just missed. Try to take a little bit off from that pitch and drop it down on the inside corner to the lefty. His natural motion when he's pitching is going to break into the left-handed pitch batter anyways. And that'll be a strike. That's what the professional announcers call painting the corner, and he did that. 1-1 the count to Will Haddock. Granville at the plate. That'll be too far outside this time. So Leach down at second. There is the 1 out in the top of the order on deck with Brad Curtis in the on-deck circle. Nice pitch. Oh, my goodness. Sorelli wanting to know where that was, and I got to tell you, you won't pitch much if you can't get that call right there. Goes to 3-1. And that's going to be out of play. That's going to go to River Street. And out of play for a 3-2 count. We got a full count now. And I can see, you can't see, but the runner at second base getting a nice walk-off lead down there. That's Leach with the lead from second. And, oh, they're going to get Haddock. Typical left-hander. He faded on the swings, took the front foot and stepped toward first base, shortening his bat. That'll be the first strikeout of the game for Mike Sorelli, and he's got 2 down and a runner at second, and Brad Curtis up. Now, Curtis flied out to Chris Parker in the first inning, then he walked and scored in the 3rd. So Granville has a streak of at least 1 run in the last 2 innings each in jeopardy right here. They'd like to keep that trend going. Actually, they've scored 2 runs in the 2nd, 2 runs in the 3rd. We're in the 4th, and they do have a runner in scoring position, and they have the top of their order up, so they're really not in bad shape here as far as driving in that run. Sorelli like to have a little bit to say in that, and he's going to bounce that one in the dirt. And Anthony LaPlaca, much quicker than he's given credit for. He's very good at getting to those loose balls. That's a good job of keeping a runner. Leach down at second base. We're in the 4th on Channel 15. Hey, visit the website, PEGTV.com. Lots of things to click on besides the schedule. That is going to be stroked, and Dorian's going to make the catch on the run. That'll end the threat. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th with a 10-4 Rutland lead over Granville in Legion baseball action. So LaPlaca, remember, was at the plate when they picked off McLaughlin at first base. So just like out trying to steal a base. So LaPlaca, the catcher, will be back up there now with a clean count. It's a clean slate, 0-0. And I got to tell you, Brad Curtis has done a nice job coming on to pitch for Granville. And it's going to be, well, I tell you what, a little bit too far inside. LaPlaca has singled and has an RBI. He's also scored a run. The assistant coach, George Bennett, he told me before the game to make sure that he hears his name said a lot on the air. That's a shot. That's a shot. That's a shot. And that's going to hit off from the wall. And LaPlaca, where are you, Anthony? There you are. He's going to make second base. And I'll tell you what, he did not miss a home run by very much right there. So a leadoff double by Anthony LaPlaca for post 31, and they're looking to score their first run or runs since the first inning. Now Parker up. But getting back to the assistant coach, George Bennett, I just want to get this out of the way now. He wants to hear his name a lot on air. So George Bennett, George Bennett, George Bennett, George Bennett, George Bennett. And that pretty much finishes out the next 3 or 4 innings, so I can go back to the game now. Parker has struck out and flied out to the catcher. Parker, very good contact hitter. Got a man down at second. I'm surprised he did not courtesy run. And Anthony's going to go on that wild pitch down to third base. And I don't mean courtesy run because of his speed, because he is quicker than you think. It's just the catcher. He's stepped out behind that plate. He's working hard. He's sweating off 5-10 pounds a game. He's got to get his gear all on. But we will have the pitch come in, and that's going to be popped up and out of play for a strike to Chris Parker. Runner stays at third base with nobody down. 10-4, Rutland with the lead here in the 4th inning. And Curtis coming in with the pitch. And that's going to be out of play for a strike. Thank you very much. On the house? All right. Thank you. So we'll stay at a 1-2 count. I'd like to thank the American Legion Post 31 volunteers out there in the concession stands. They just brought me up some nice cold water. They're going to come home, and they got him in a pickle. And this isn't going to be pretty. Yep. He took the catcher out. That's a cool play. And the runner, though, didn't come up on the plate at second base. So Plaka is out at between third and home. He's out on the pickle. I'm trying to think the catcher tagged him, so that's I was trying to come up with. So there's an out. And Parker will reach on a fielder's choice. Now McGuire up. He has 2 RBIs on a single, and he's flying out to left field. So there's 1 down now, 1 on first base, and Sean McGuire put Garrett Brewer on deck. And the pitch, and that's going to be a nice stop behind the plate by Tom Jackson. And Tom has, remember, he has that pickoff. He threw a runner out at first base. A very experienced player in McLaughlin. There's a throw over, and this time Parker, who's kind of a crafty guy himself, he was awake and didn't get caught off base. It's 10-4 in the bottom of the 4th. Rutland scoring all 10 of the runs back in the first inning. And boy, have things really changed now. Momentum totally favoring. There's a strike. Granville right now. Last inning was the first time in 2 innings that Granville didn't score a run. They had a chance, but they just couldn't get the timely hit, and Dorian tracked down that pretty good shot out to the left center field gap for the 3rd out. Nice pitch. Beautiful pitch. That is a pitcher's pitch. You need that call all night. So they'll make it a 1-2 count. And again, Curtis is caught and fired, and that's going to be a foul ball. See him pick it up in foul territory, and everybody's got to go back. That's just the end of it. No, that's the bottom line. No gray area. Parker will go back to first, and we will have, picking back up his bat, getting set will be Sean McGuire. So McGuire going to make contact here. We'll actually have to duck down out of the way of that breaking ball. That didn't break, stayed flat, stayed high, and it'll be 2-2 count now. As the pitch gets set, and it's going to be just outside. We'll run it to a full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Remember, Anthony Plaka started this inning off with a monster double. Went to third base on a wild pitch, and then on contact play, he broke to the plate, and they got him. And that's going to be a walk, and that'll put runners at first and second. So on this very humid night, I'm just pondering out loud if Brad Curtis might be getting a little bit on the empty tank side here. Brewer at the plate has walked and scored, and he has singled. Again, he's got a lot of jolt in that bat. He can send the ball a yard. And the pitch, boy, had him swinging for the fences, and that'll be an obvious strike. The on-deck hitter, I should mention, is listed as Guyette, but remember, he is going to be strike 2 on the same pitch, same swing, same results. But what I think they're going to do is plug Sharon in there, since he's now the shortstop, and they left the pitcher spot like a flex position where they can just keep plugging people in and out at the pitching spot. They've used 3 pitchers so far tonight, Post 31 has. Yep. That's not nibbling right there. That's just missing. So we'll go to a 1-ball, 2-strike count. I guess if you had to miss like that, an 0-2 count wasn't the worst situation. Stays at 1-2 with 2 on. And the pitch. Oh, beautiful. Oh, boy. You know what's coming out of my mouth right now? 2 strikes. You can't become a statue and watch a beautiful pitch come in. You got to be defensive. So will be Sorelli. So Sorelli will hit in Guyette's spot. And first time Mike's had a chance to swing the bat here. Actually, I think I explained who was on deck next backwards, which is not unusual for me. People can't believe I've gotten this far in life and I'm able to tape a game and talk it. People have such low expectations of me, it just blows them away when I do something average. Oh, swing and a miss, fooled him on that pitch right there. So quickly, an 0-2 count with 2 down, 2 on, 10-4, bottom of the 4th, Rutland with a lead, and Curtis looking to keep his team right here with a chance to stay in the ball game. Came in high, went breaking ball again, but came in high. One thing about a pitcher, if they start to get a little tired, and Curtis is, to me, he's thrown a lot of back-to-back-to-back breaking balls. He's just kind of saving what's on his tank for spotting a fastball like that right there, and he'll miss. And I'll stay now at a 2-2 count. So Sorelli trying to get some insurance runs in here. Awaits the pitch, and boy, I tell you, again, it looked like it was way outside, but when across the plate, it wasn't bad. And it goes to 3-2 count. Runners with 2 down will be off and running at first and second. And Sorelli with Curtis in the stretch. We are set. And the pitch on the way. Going to be strike 3. Got him. Froze him again. And Sorelli will leave 2 on. We'll go to the 5th. 10-4 Rutland over Granville. Well, we made it to the 5th. And Eric Crosby, the leadoff hitter against Mike Sorelli. Post 31 started the game with Matt Sharon, who gave up 2 runs and 2 innings of work. Zach Aquistapace gave up 2 runs. And now Sorelli, who's yet to surrender a run. We'll be low with that pitch and go to 2 balls, no strikes. Should tell you who's at the plate. That'd probably help you out, huh? Eric Crosman is up, followed by Tom Jackson. And then Dan Randall. And if they can get around to a 4 spot, that'll be E2 coming up. So 3-0 to leadoff hitter, and that's not good news. You want to try to eliminate that leadoff batter. And that won't happen. You're going to walk him. As Crossman will get the first base on the walk, and Jackson up. He walked and scored and flied out to center field in his 2 appearances at the plate. And boy, I tell you, as a catcher tonight, Jackson has done a nice job. He's got a pickoff. He's got to throw out at first on pickoff play, but he's just been solid, real solid behind the plate. We're in the 5th, 10-4 the score. Rutland, in case you missed it, scored all 10 runs in the first inning. Then they sent 14 hitters to the plate against Dan Randall. There's a strike from Sorelli. Since that first inning, there's been sporadic offense from Post 31, but they've pretty much been held in check by Brad Curtis. The runner going, this is a good pitch to throw down on, and they're going to have him, yeah, beautiful pitch. And a nice catch and a good throw by LaPlaca. I'll tell you what, if you could pick a pitch to throw a runner out on, that was it. Nice to handle, got to the plate quick. LaPlaca with that smooth release, got him. Jackson up there now with nobody on base and 1 down. And that is going to be to McLaughlin. He'll set fire and have him. So 2 down on that 5-3 ground out, and McLaughlin hard charging down there at third base. Does a nice job in the field. Now Randall up. He has singled and scored and walked. And we're in the 5th, the top of the 5th. Post 31 with Mike Sorelli on the mound. He's looked good. I think Mike's a sophomore this past year. I lose track. They grow up. All these kids do so quick. Starting my 11th year of community service, public access television. I know it drives you nuts. You just can't get rid of me. Trying to be sneaky there, but he'll miss outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 down, nobody on, and Randall got up power from the right side, and they want to be careful with him. Now he's staying away down the low and away instead of trying to bring it up into this power zone. That's a good idea. He missed there, 2 balls and 1 strike. And Sorelli looking into LaPlaca, the target's set, and that's going to be low. And tell you what, LaPlaca, give him the strike on that. That pitch was way below the knee, and he caught and just gently slid it up to the strike zone, and that's what a good catcher does. You receive the pitch, you frame it, you dress it up, a little whipped cream on top, make it look good to the umpire, and you get the strike. Tell you what, Sorelli thought he had it, but I'll go to a full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. He's been unpredictable out there on the mound. He's been thinking, doing a good job of thinking. He's going to have a walk, though, so that will be a 2-out walk. That'll be his 2nd walk of this inning. And E2 up. Sean E2 has singled and scored and flied out to, I believe it was Holtman at that point in right field. Oh, we did have some changes defensively. I'm sorry. Mark Noble is in left field, and Joe Trono is in right field, and Dorian stays in center field. And that infield stays the same out there. Brewer, Parker, Sharon, McLaughlin, and LaPlaca. Big swing. That was just good old-fashioned heat. Softball, that'd be a rise ball. That was just a high fastball right there from Sorelli for a strike. 0-1 to count, and a lot of juice on it. Tried the same pitch and couldn't get him to go this time. It's out of the strike zone, and E2 will make it a 1-1 count as he's able to level things up with a good discipline at bat right there. That's going to be foul. Toronto giving it a little run, and then sees it go over the fence toward Otter Creek. I'll tell you what, I'm going to brighten that picture up just a tad. There we go. The shadows coming over the field now. A lot of haze in the air. Very humid night at St. Peter's Field. Runner going. I'll tell you what, LaPlaca did a tremendous job just coming up with the ball. The runner will have the base stolen. And E2 now with a 2-2 count. Mike doing a little uniform adjustment there before he gets set to turn around and face the batter. Again, it's very important right here not to give up, just keep leaking runs out. They got 10-4 lead, and oh, got him. Nice pitch by Sorelli, and that's what I meant. He took care of business right there. That's going to be the inning. We're going to go to the bottom of the 5th, and 10-4 Rutland with the lead. So Joe Toronto getting a chance to swing the bat here for the first time. Of course, got to see Joe up at Rutland High School play soccer for Coach Kirk Abrahamson. Now he's here on the diamond, and he just got hit right in the butt. That's a butt hit right there, and that's going to be, that sucks. You know, you only get to play so much. He gets in, and probably the only at bat he's going to get, he hit him. And now bring around the top of the order, and Rob Dorian. He scored 2 runs this evening, and now we're in the evening, and he's got a single. He's grounded out his last time, though, 4-3. Grounded out to second base his last time up, which was Jim Joy. That's going to be through the hole at short. That's going to be a base hit, and Toronto will go into second base, and there's Rob right there. How good athlete Rob is. He plays football, and he's a basketball stud, and now he's out here on the diamond. So Rob Dorian with 2 hits tonight, and now Matt Sharon up. He's been hit by a pitch. He's walked, and he's flied out to center field. Matt Sharon started the ball game pitching, did a nice job. He tried to lay down the bunt, and it's going to be a foul ball. And then he got moved defensively over to shortstop, where he's done an excellent job. And that momentum's kind of faded now that Granville had built up, and we're kind of settled into a 10-4 score in the bottom of the 5th. With 2 on, nobody down for Rutland. They sent 14 batters to the plate in the first inning and came up with 10 runs. That's going to be foul. Matt stung that one, but down the first baseline, out of play for a strike. That's going to be 2 strikes now on Matt Sharon. Going to have more Legion baseball action on Channel 15 for you, and along with Rutland County Royals baseball. Nah, it's going to be a high, hard chopper. That's going to be a tough play. With the speed Sharon has, they'll get him at first. They'll move runners up, though, to second and third. So second and third for Rutland. Sharon is just nipped at first base. And now McLaughlin up. He has walked twice and has a double. He has 3 RBIs also. Yeah, and they're bringing the infield in to cut down the runs. They know they're down 6, getting late in the ballgame, bottom of the 5th. Supposed to go 7, so they want to cut down the runs at the plate if they can. Nice pitch. And like I said, I mean, this has been a great job by Brad Curtis coming in to relieve Dan Randall. Randall responsible for all 10 runs. And the pitch, that looks like it's going to stay on the infield. Yep, Joy will make the catch. Runners can't advance, and there's 2 down now. So I'll tell you what, this will be big momentum. This could reestablish that momentum that kind of fizzled if they can get out of a 2-on, nobody down situation, not surrender a run. Now LaPlaca, though, he's got a lot to say with it. He's got a single, he's got a double, got an RBI. And he's experienced. He's a very mature player. His last season he spent in college, Hamilton College. And, you know, this is what age and wisdom do for you. They put you in a position like this where you can really execute and get the job done. 2 runs here would be big late in the game. It's 10-4, Rutland up by 6. Just overpowered him. Don't know if you caught him off guard or what, but that was a pretty good pitch right there. Becomes an 0-2 count. And Curtis would love to bring up another strikeout here. He's got the count in his favor. He can pretty much pick a pitch. Anything he wants to throw at 0-2. Oh, I'll tell you, he didn't get the call. And I think Anthony thought it was a strike. And I think everybody on each bench did. He didn't get the call. He makes it 1 ball, 2 strikes. And I knew once he got up 0-2 and I said he could throw anything he wants, his whole tendency, if you watch him, has been that right there. His strikeouts have all been on strike 3 breaking balls. A couple of them have been looking strike 3 breaking balls. He gets him on a fastball, no doubt about that, and they'll leave those 2 runners on. We'll go to the 6th inning, 10-4, Rutland with the lead. Lots of changes to talk about, and what we're looking at right now. Number 16, Chris Parker. He's gone in to pitch for Coach Sorelli, and that's cranked. Toronto chasing, and that's going to roll to the wall, hit the wall, and we will pick it up with a double by Jim Joy. So a leadoff double in the 6th, and they can't afford to leave base runners on base without picking them up now. They've got to bring these runners around. We're in the 6th, scheduled for 7. That's a double. Parker, Toronto's in center field. Rob Turner's gone to left, and right fielder now is Noble as they switch everything around. Dorian has gone into play second base defensively. Sharon stays at short, McLaughlin stays at third, and Brewer stays at first. And that looks like Anthony LaPlaca still behind the plate. It is. Yeah, I'd wait till they turn the jersey. See, a couple, well, it must be 3 years ago now, maybe 4. They built a new media center behind home plate and didn't consider me media and kicked me out the year. I'm basically in Clarendon shooting a game. Wow. Parker almost got beheaded. Dorian will get the out. The runner moves to third. I'll tell you what, Chris Parker showing you some quickness right there, man. That's funny because he didn't get hurt. But I bet he heard some whistling go by his ears on that play. That goes as a 4-3 ground out, but there's a lot more to it. They're in Dodge up now. Parker's follow-through brought his head to about where his knees were, and that's where the ball went by, and he just totally went limp and hit the ground. I mean, I'm impressed with the hit and with the ability to get out of the way of the hit, and then the play by Dorian to find the ball, throw the runner out at first. So there's 1 out and a runner at third base. And Parker, he'll nibble you to death like that. He throws a lot of different off-speed stuff. And every now and then he'll sneak in a fastball. Haddock is on deck, and this is Dodge at the plate. Runner at third, and that's a wild pitch that no damage will be done. It's hit the backstop and came back so fast that the runner would have been just gonzo if he left. So we're in the 6th. Things got off tonight with a bang for Post 31. He scored 10 runs in the first inning. And it's a good thing because they're up 10-4, and that'll be a walk by Parker. So first and third. And the number 9 hitter, Haddock, up. He's grounded out to third base. McLaughlin got him at third to first, and then he struck out. So looks like a pinch hitter for Haddock. Because Willie's a left-handed hitter, and this guy's going to the right side. So Tatko, Eric Tatko hitting for Haddock. So this is going to be Tatko's first swings of the night. We'll see if they'll send the runner from first to second base with that first and third situation. Now, the last time they did, they scored a run. Remember, the ball ended up going out into center field. So we will see. And there's that fake to third and throw to first. And I'll tell you, it really does work. I've seen it work several times now. Didn't work there, but a lot of times, I'm not saying this is why Parker did it. You do it because you're just not sure what you want to throw. There goes the runner, and there goes the throw, and they're going to have him. They got him. Beautiful. You know what got me, though? The runner never broke from third to home. It was ridiculous to send the runner from first to second, because when they throw through, you should be releasing the runner from third to home because you just basically wasted an out. See, when the catcher commits and the ball goes through, you send the runner from third to home. That's what that's all about. Unless they cut it off, and then you got runners at second and third. But LaPlaca's thrown 2 runners out today, and I'll tell you, he's got that strong fluid motion, that strong arm. And boy, how important was it to throw the runner out? As Parker hits the batter, and Tatko will go to first base. And I'll bring up top of the order, and Brad Curtis. Curtis tonight's popped out to second base, which was Parker at that point in the ball game. He was second base. He walked and scored in the third, and he flied out to Dorian in center field in his last at bat. So 2 down, and first and third. It's Curtis will step in, and he's all set. And from the stretch, Parker will be to the plate. They're going to try it again, and nope, that's going to be a late break coming home, and he'll score. But boy, he hung around for a little while to have tea and cookies, but he will score the 5th run, and that is important. That makes it 10-5 in the 6th. Runner still in scoring position at second base, and Brad Curtis looking for some 2-out hits in that bat right now. He needs a 2-out hit. I guess that'd fall under the category of a clutch hit. So nice lead at second base down there by Tatko. That pitch not called a strike. Looked like it might have tickled the corner, but he didn't get the call. They'll go to a 1-1 count now. I'll tell you, Turner out there in left field is staring into a brutal, brutal sun. This is such a notorious sun field this time of night, which is about 7:31. And that's that left fielder, third baseman, and shortstop that are just staring right into it, man. So Parker to the plate, and foul ball. I'll tell you what, they were very fortunate. That would have more than scored the run. He got all of that. He turned on that pitch and drove it foul for a strike. 2-2 the count. 2 down. 10-5 the score. And Rutland with the lead in their season opener, home opener. And Granville, post 323, coming in with a 9-1 record in its non-league matchup. Rutland still got a tough road, man. They got Bennington, Brattleboro, Hartford, strike 3. Yep. That'll be the inning. That was a great pitch by Parker, and we'll go to the bottom of the 6th, and post 31 coming up to the plate. Well, it's imperative if Granville's really going to make a legitimate run here in his top of the 7th when they come to the plate, that they hold post 31 scoreless here in the bottom of the 6th. And Chris Parker due up here, and he is. He's going to lead things off. He has struck out, flied out, and reached on a fielder's choice. Takes a strike right there. It's 10-5. 2 runs in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd, and 1 in the 6th by Granville's cut the lead all the way down in half now, and that's going to be strike 2. I tell you, again, Curtis has come on, Brad Curtis. He's gone the distance since the 1st inning when he got the 3rd out of the 1st to relieve Randall. And he basically shut out post 31. They haven't scored a run since. And it's going to be the 3rd through the hole and base hit. So Parker will end up at first base with a leadoff single here in the bottom of the 6th. And again, Chris has got good speed. So Parker down at first base. He's got a legitimate base stealing threat. Now Mark Noble up. So Mark Noble hitting in Sean McGuire's spot. This will be Noble's first at bat. And from the stretch, Curtis got him. Oh, chopping some wood there. He got him. 0-1 count, and the shadows coming across the field now down at beautiful St. Peter's Field. And that's going to be outside high, and Parker scampers back to first base. Remember, the catcher, Tom Jackson, has picked off a base runner, McLaughlin, down at first base this evening, and got the gun. He's got quite a gun there to do that. Breaking ball strike, and that'll make it 2 strikes now. 1-2 count with nobody down here. Leadoff single by Chris Parker, and Noble at the plate. And a pitch coming will not happen. Actually, he's going to go to first base, and diving back is Chris Parker, and he is safe. So we'll just reset and get all situated again. Everybody gets configurated, and we're good to go. Whoa, I tell you. You can see the long look in from Curtis. He had a couple of those tonight where he was wondering where that was, but it'll go as a 2-2 count now on a very close pitch. Nothing to do with the umpire. As a hitter, that's just very close to take that. Brings him up there, yeah. Regardless, he just rung him up for the first one, so if you're going to sit there and watch him, they're going to ring you up. So Noble will go down on strikes looking. Yeah, and Brewer. Garrett Brewer up. He has walked, scored, singled, and struck out. So Brewer up there with a runner at first and 1 down, and I believe they're going to check. I think he held up. No, they say he went. So that will be an 0-1 count on a nasty breaking ball down and away. They got the big first baseman to commit to it, and that's good news for the pitcher as Granville there in the field defensively in the blue tops, and it's going to be out play. I won't even follow it. That's going to be strike 2 on a foul ball. Again, July 8th, doubleheader here, Rutland County Royals, noontime start. U15 All-Star traveling baseball team in Eastern New York League home field here, and again, close with 2 strikes. Too close to be a statue. They're very fortunate on those non-calls right there. And I'm not saying that they were strikes, but that's, you got to protect the plate. Pitch coming, and nice job. Catcher stopped it, but that will not stop the Speedy Parker as Christopher goes down and gets a stolen base. And that will run it to a full count or 2-2 count? 2-2 count. Hey, I lose track all the time. I lose track of my lunch, let alone a ball game. Got him. Beautiful location. Hard cutter down and away, and he'll have back-to-back strikeouts. And that'll bring up, should be Sorelli. Should be Mike. That looks like his figure, yep. Nope, I'm wrong again. It's Pat Guyette up there. He will hit for Sorelli. Again, I'm 400 feet away straight on, so I can't see their jersey numbers or anything like that. Sometimes I can't even see them. Just blew it by him for a strike. That's just a heat. All heat right there, the heater. 0-1 to count. We're in the bottom of the 6th, and Rutland trying to hold on and get their season underway here at St. Peter's Field with a win. So they come to set, and going to be strike 2 as he fastball, breaking ball, really mixing it up. Makes you wonder if Curtis or anybody else would have started other than Randall, where we'd be in this game right now. Would Rutland be up 10-5? I mean, I don't really think so, but again, try to go to that low outside corner, and this time missed too low, and I'll go 2 balls, 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Parker sitting down there at second base. Led this whole inning off with the single, then the back-to-back strikeouts. That's where we're at right now. 2 down, runner on, and that's a tough one to take. And a good job right there by Jackson, trying to slide it in after he caught it, but just couldn't get the call that time. But again, he's been a good catcher all night. He's been very impressive for Granville. And that's going to be to the shortstop. He'll pick it up, take the step, and got it. We're going to the 7th. Rutland 3 outs away from the win in their season opener. Number 31 in your camera view, or in your picture, my camera view actually, is Justin Pomacala. And he made some big appearances for Post 31 over the last couple of years. He's out there to close it out. And again, Justin, just to let you know, he's graduated last year from Rutland, but he goes to Roger Williams College now. And in his final year at Legion Ball, and he's looking at the number 2, 3, 4 hitters. Crosman, Jackson, and Randall do up against Pomacala. And no time like the present, say hi to his dad, Dave Pomacala. Big supporter of Legion Baseball, youth sports, Munger Vision. Real community guy. Good guy, Dave is. Funny guy. That was a good pitch. Strike one as we get back in the game. And they've taken Dorian and put him back in center field now for this 7th inning. And that's going to be a gapper. And I'm looking for anybody. And it's going to be picked up on one hand by Dorian. And that's going to be a leadoff single. Tell you what, nice job cutting off the gap there by the outfielders Dorian and Noble to hold that to a single. Now Jackson up. He's flied out to center field. He's walked and scored, and he's grounded out to McLaughlin at third. So right now, what Granville's looking at is they need 5 to tie it up to get it to the bottom of the 7th. 6 obviously would put him ahead. Trono's gone to right field, and there's the throw to first, and Brewer went up the ladder and got it, and Pomacala's got a good move, a real good move to first base. All these Post 31 pitchers seem to have a good move to first base. Noble's gone to left field, and Dorian's in center. Now it's going to be another base hit, and that'll be picked up by Noble, and he'll fire it in. So all of a sudden, first and second, and nobody down for Granville. They're trying to put together some 7th inning magic. Back-to-back singles, and now Randall. Now, no joking around or nothing. Pomacala has his tendency to do what he's doing right here. Get a little bit of trouble going, and then he seems to pitch at his best when he's got no wiggle room. We'll see if that holds true here this year. And it's going to be well outside. Now it's a ball, and a good job by Anthony LaPlaca behind the plate to save that, so the runners cannot advance up on a wild pitch. We've made it to the 7th, and I'll tell you, during that first inning when Rutland sent 14 people to the plate, I didn't know if we'd missed 2 or 3 birthdays to get here to the 7th, but we've made it. And I'm still just middle-aged by a hair, but Pomacala from the stretch. Right back to Pomacala. He's going to take the lead runner out on the force play. They got him. They throw back to first, and they got him. What a stretch. I probably blew it on the camera. But what a stretch by Brewer. I apologize to the great plays and great players out there that I couldn't do a better job on the camera. But Pomacala did just what I said. So a double play, and that kind of eliminates his problems. And E2 up with 2 down, runner at second, and 10-5 to score. And Pomacala got a little bit of trouble, got himself out of trouble. And that going to be fair, picked up by McLaughlin, and he will get it, and that's going to be the ball game. Yeah, Nate Collins. Yep, Brewer again, back-to-back stretches, and he must be a yoga master to stretch out like that. And Pomacala comes in and closes the deal out. Rutland will go and get the win on their home opener, 10-5 over Granville. Hope you've enjoyed this American Legion Post 31 baseball action. Congratulations to Post 31, and a great effort by Granville. If they could just take that first inning away, who knows what would have happened. So again, get out there, support public access television, catch a Legion baseball game for real. Tolerate me on PEGTV. Remember, I'm just a volunteer, and I'll catch you with some more Legion action. God bless America.